Hello, hello, and welcome back to Hollywood Dish, the show where we dish all things Hollywood. I'm Rebecca North.
And I'm Nicole Rovine.
And we're back once again. We have a very special guest, but before we introduce them, Nicole, how are you? What's your weekly update?
I'm pretty good. I am better than last week. I will not get into my whole thing of my hacker situation, but I am unhacked, and I think that it is your very good friend who I have to thank for that. So I still I've yet to send the Starbucks gift card, but I'm going to do that as a thank you. So I'm so happy not to be hacked. Everyone be so careful. Get like the duo two-step login thing on everything that like you can. It's crazy, scary what can happen. So I'm really good though. Otherwise, I've been watching a lot of TV. I watched Survivor last night. It was a really good episode. Kardashians, I watched the premiere. I watched it like at midnight, like a nerd. Some version of a nerd, some definition of that. So yeah, a lot of TV. I'm really good. I'm so much better than last time. How are you?
Good. I mean, at least your hacker was kind of funny.
Yeah, I have so many stories. People send me.
I don't know if the hacker was intentionally funny, but it was maybe situationally funny that you were sending wild stuff to people, like you as in your hacker through your name, and it was just pretty comical. I know now we can laugh because it's
now
fixed.
We can, exactly.
But yeah, two-factor authentication. I still have to do that to my stuff too. But yeah, I'm good. I just got back from mini golfing with my work team, which is so fun. We are at a mini golf bar. They're all over Seattle. So, and it turns out just a quick anecdote about it. I'm heinous at mini golf. And obviously I was making a little bit about it, but I was just really, really bad. Genuinely kind of frightening.
Were you too forceful or not forceful enough?
Definitely too forceful. But it kept boomeranging back to me. The amount of times I ended up where I started halfway through the round. But then here's the best part. We're at hole 6, let's say. And I was just okay, I'm going to do some crazy maneuver where I just bang it off the side. And at this point, I'm joking because everything I'm doing, everyone's okay, Rebecca, the hole is there. And I, shit you not, hole in one.
Wow.
And now I never have to mini golf again. But yeah, that's my day. So I've had a great day. I can't complain. And then I will be going to LA next week, which is awesome.
Yes. Oh, I'm excited to hear all about it. Coachella,
good vibes
everyone.
all around here. Yes, Coachella, and then I'll be in LA for the week after. So super excited. Nice. But I'm even more excited to introduce our guest because I know there's just so much hype around him as a person, let alone him just making a guest appearance in our live comment section last week. If people were that excited about him popping into the chat, I cannot wait for them to hear him speak. So, I mean, Nicole, why don't you introduce him?
Yes. So if you're here, you definitely know him. He is a panelist, a frequent panelist on the SNL Network. He has his own podcast that he will tell us all about. He is just a legend in podcasting, and he did make a nice appearance and last week in our chat on our live on YouTube. And the response, I'll say, I think you were already booked before you got that positive response, but I mean, patting ourselves on the back for that one because we knew you were popular. We knew people liked you, but could we have predicted that they would like you this much? No, it's just
we say my name already.
Yes.
No, let's just keep hyping him up.
I kind of like this. I kind of like what we're doing. Okay, Rebecca.
Also, such a distinguished laugh too. That if you're on the pod and you listen frequently, you already know him. So without further ado,
are you sure?
TJ.
Oh my God.
I don't know.
I'm sorry, I interrupted your intro. Go ahead.
I think we could have done that for the whole episode. But okay.
The entire episode is just one long introduction.
Yes, we just weave it in. We tell the stories that we're supposed to tell, and then it's all about you though, with adjectives about who you are.
There's a Craig Ferguson special like that where he's I'm going to tell one joke. Okay, I'm going to tell one joke. And then he uses the entire special with anecdotes and tangents and tells the joke at the end. And I don't remember if the joke was that great, but it's trust me, it's going to be a great joke. And then he does 8 more minutes of stand up.
To be honestly, fair, that's how Nicole and I tell stories on the podcast to begin with. We'll be okay, let's start. What was last week? Elon Musk. And then we're okay, obviously we're back to the Kardashians. I don't know how we did it, but that is literally this podcast. So channel that, TJ.
Yes.
I'm a little nervous. This might be the most nervous I've ever been for a podcast appearance, actually.
And tell us why.
Thank you so much for asking. As I said that leading statement.
Yeah, you say it and then take a sip of your drink as if like,
oh yeah, I know
we're
what I'm
not
doing.
waiting for wine.
I enjoy the pause. No, this is a if I was telling Nicole on the backstage that basically this is the equivalent of like if nerdism was like different continents, like pop culture nerd is like a place like I would visit a couple of times with like family, whatever, where I live like on like the nerd and then like hang out a lot on like the Africa continent for like black like pop culture stuff and like nerd stuff. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little ill-equipped. So like take my presence here. Like I'm very glad that you guys had me on. Thank you very much. That was a very nice intro. That's probably the nicest thing someone's ever said about me. That's not true. I get complimented a lot. That's not also not
well,
true.
I mean,
compliment.
Actually,
yeah,
that's just because I like that's just because I like giving compliments. But no,
oh,
honestly,
that's what it is. Wait, you have to elaborate on that. I think people think that it's the opposite. I thought it was
what?
Like
I knew it.
No, I thought it
it's
was that you like giving compliments and receiving compliments, but you
the first time I ever podcasted with TJ, like right away, like out the gate, he like said something nice about me, and I was like, oh, this feels good. And then you're like, well, I'm getting compliment for a reason, and I was like, yeah, you are. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. I'm absorbing all of this. Like anytime like this, because words of affirmation is my love language. Well, my like biggest one, and so like I love giving compliments. I love receiving. I love the words. I'm very good at giving compliments. Like I think after the three of us recorded for the first time was when there was a Brooklyn Nine-Nine bonus coverage, I think, and we had a lot of fun. And actually, one of my favorite SNL bits was when Rebecca like put on glasses and like you guys were saying I had like a nerd fetish or something. And to me, it's still one of my favorite bits because I thought it was really funny. And I just remember really enjoying that recording and having a very good time with you guys podcasting. And I remember afterwards saying something very nice. I was like, hey guys, I'm gonna let you know I had a lot of fun. And here's the thing, that's really sweet and all if I end the story there, listener. But the epilogue to that story is these mother truckers didn't even leave a like, an emoji, a comment, no reaction. All my niceness was out there sitting. All my niceness was sitting out there.
Oh, I was hacked. I couldn't. I was hacked
for 8 months.
Yeah. And then I passed it on to Nicole, so then she couldn't answer either. I got you too.
Yeah,
that's all good. I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me, guys. I hope I can provide good entertainment as even as an outsider.
Yeah, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit for your pop culture savvy. Like, I feel like you're always seeing. Like, I know you saw Taylor Tomlinson live, right? Like 3 days
yes,
ago.
I did.
Like, you're very. Yes, tell us about that. I loved her special.
I love me some Taylor Tomlinson. She is a queen. She is hilarious. To me, I like giving her the title of a comedy titan because she's just so strong in her joke telling. She's so funny. Also, no, that's not like relevant. But no, she's actually, it's very interesting because I've been a comedy fan for a very long time and she's very quickly become like one of my top 3 comedians of all time that I've enjoyed. I'm actually, you know how crazy it is? I don't know if you guys get this too, but like I usually think I'm a pretty like chill person if I was to like meet somebody like big or whatever. But I really think like there's people like Taylor Tomlinson or like Donald Glover who have like a Childish Gambino poster behind me. Or like Lil Nas X. Like there's a few people where it's like I think if I met them, I couldn't actually treat them as a person. So I know I could never meet her because I wouldn't be like as cool and collected as like I would need to be. So that's how much like I hold her in this regard. Yes. You know, she's just a regular person. She just, I don't know, she might buy it. Well, who buys newspapers? But like she just does regular things. But I think she's so talented. And I saw her live. This isn't a Taylor Thompson podcast, but like I could talk about her forever. She's
I get that though, because I used to work for Sirius XM and I was like customer retention marketing. So we would put on a lot of events. So I would go into all of these like meetings and they were all these events with all these celebrities and they would just be there. And I met so many different people and I always like kept my cool. Like I never lost it until Jake Johnson, so Nick from New Girl, he like came up, and for some reason, I don't know what came upon me. Like, I had seen so many people that I had been big fans of. I met them backstage, like with Andy Cohen in an elevator twice, like just the two of us, and spoke, and I really kept cool. Jake Johnson, I like got all like jittery and I was like, hi. And he was like, sees my badge and he was like, aren't you supposed to be working or something?
Yo.
And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. And he was like, I'm just messing with you. And I was like, oh, I'm in love.
Oh my God. Do celebrities know their power? When I've heard people say, like, when a celebrity says, I'm just messing with you, like, do they know that you're like freaking out inside? Because that's something, if someone said that to me, that like a famous, I would be like, and they have to know, like, he has to know when he says that, it just like the effect it has. He has
literally,
to
and like, I would go up and talk to them casually, but him, I was like, hi.
like,
Yo, you turn it short. Wow. I think like really big actors, like huge actors like Will Smith, like are aware. Yeah, I know.
What a choice.
I know exactly what I
choices
said.
were made.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because you guys, I think we tried to make this happen after the slap happened, and I was like, oh, that'd be perfect for me, but I had a recording to do. But like I think big actors know. But the thing I love about comics is there's something that's almost like a street level hero about them, like in Iron Fist, a Luke Cage, a Jessica Jones, there's something about them that's like still like a person and they had to be among the people, whereas an actor can kind of reside and everything is filmed, so you can just put everything out there without having to like be among the people. But a comedian, they're among the people, and like even when a comic gets really big like Kevin Hart or something, there's still a little bit that still has to connect with like people. Well, I guess not when you're doing like theater tours, but like that's the reason I think comics for me, like I would much rather meet comics than like, I don't know, meet like Lil Nas X, because I would literally not be able to handle it. Even though it's just a person, like everybody poops. It's not that big of a deal.
Wait, no, I feel that. Like, because I've been going to a lot of open mics recently, and like there are like local Seattle people that I'm like, I don't want to go do my set in front of them. Like, this is crazy. But people wouldn't know who they were, I don't think, just like off the bat. But around here, like at a bunch of the comedy clubs that I've been like performing at, I'm like, oh my God. Like,
wait, hold up.
You're so cool.
Hold up. You're a stand-up?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I have done stand-up a few times.
I have been listening to you for close to a year now. We're coming up on...
And I'm not that funny, I know.
That's not what I was going to say at all.
Kidding.
No, I was just going to say it's been close to a year that I've been listening to that I've been working with the SNL Network, and I'm surprised to just now find that out.
Yeah, I've been doing it for a little bit, just like in Seattle area. Like I just kind of got interested, but that's the point I'm making, is that like to become a comic and like to become anyone well-known, you have to just like grind, and you're going to these comedy clubs and doing stand-up all the time. So like you work to get there, like I'm not saying actors don't, but I'm saying like you're in the local scene and you are just hanging out with people, even as you're more well-known, like you're still having to hang around just like people that are either coming to watch or going for their first time, and like having to sit at a table with them and interact with them. So I agree with you that it would be a lot more chill.
Can I ask, what are your main things that you talk about? Not like your bits, but what topics have you been starting with?
Well, I'm very like storytelling-ish, because just like a lot of crazy shit has happened to me. So I'm like, I can utilize this. And a lot of the whole gist of like who I am is that I have what I call like not speaking anxiety, that I can't just be in an elevator with someone and not say a word to them. Like I have to say something.
Like, so you hate silence?
No, I just love talking to strangers. Like it's a hobby. So a lot of my stuff has been like crazy stories. Like, oh, I was on a bus, like public bus, and like someone asked to borrow my phone, and he was on like work release from prison and he was late and used my phone to call, like that. And then you just like make it into a bit kind of, but a lot of it's just me, just like my lived experiences. And I'm like, this is funny and I want people to hear, even if they don't want to hear it, they have to.
Yeah.
See, to me, that just sounds like you being that little story right there just makes me feel makes me feel good, because it makes you sound like a nice white lady, which we need like plenty of out in the community. So thank you for doing.
Hey, I'm so glad I could do my part.
I couldn't do it straight. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Speaking of nice white ladies, Britney Spears.
Our queen.
Who is our?
The podcast.
Wait, sis, you're on this podcast now. Britney Spears is your queen.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, we literally have Lizzo hosting SNL, and we have an actual queen. I mean, Britney Spears is a
Yeah.
queen in Caucasia. Sure, absolutely. Sure, absolutely.
Okay,
Go ahead.
so how about this? Because Lizzo, I actually like have such a portion of my heart set out for her. So I will say she's our 2000s queen. How about that?
Yeah,
I will
Britney,
give you that.
yeah,
I will
yeah.
Britney is.
absolutely. I mean, I will absolutely give you that. I'm trying to think of somebody black, but I can't think of it fast enough. So I will give you it for now because I'm talking
Okay.
enough that I can't figure out my own bit.
Okay, but Britney Spears, I know we talk about her a lot here, but this is like real like headline stuff that Britney Spears is pregnant, question mark. So it's been super controversial, which most I know pregnancy announcements aren't, but I'm going to read her exact caption so we can all interpret this ourselves and give our opinion. And granted, I'm just going to put a disclaimer that we do believe Britney if she's saying she's pregnant, but it's not that. The caption's just really misleading. So it says, I lost so much weight to go on my Maui trip only to gain it back again. I thought, geez, what happened to my stomach? My husband said, no, you're food pregnant, silly. So I got a pregnancy test and, well, I'm having a baby. And then she joked a few days later that she got a little more food pregnant, that if she had twins, she might just lose it. So this was a pregnancy announcement, but it could be a food baby. So TJ, what do you think this means? Because I know Nicole and I definitely have thought deep into this for the past few days.
What? Wait, hold on. Can I curse on this program?
Yeah. Like, I mean,
no.
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
Want to very badly. You just
okay. What in
Nothing
the
offensive.
ham sandwich on rye with mustard and tomato?
I'd rather you curse.
I'd rather the kids. It's better for the kids to just speak the truth. Just say what you got to say. They'll understand. Like Kristen Stewart, and when she threw the F-bomb in her monologue, it's just kind of for the best sometimes.
Right.
That was a good one.
That makes me want some tortillas.
Oh yeah. Always.
Okay. What was
Live
the
your
question?
truth. What do you think about
Britney
Britney?
What do you think about this pregnancy announcement?
Well, I'm glad that she's fucking. Like, I'm very happy for her. Like, because if anybody's out there getting it in, hey, it's a celebration for everybody. If you're out, hey, if you're getting it in and you just had to like get over like your dad like controlling your life and you're actively getting.
Though to be fair, her dad did like make her get an IUD. So like you're making a super valid point.
Oh, so she's having some fun. Okay. Sorry. Congratulations to her. That's also a weird thing for a dad to do, but
yeah. Well, in a conservatorship, I feel like it's probably common.
He did a lot of weird things. So.
A lot of weird things. A lot of very bad weird things. I think it's great. I think now that we have freed Britney, I know when we were in the Free Britney movement, people, including myself, were careful with our words of like, we want her to be free, but we also want her to be safe and to be looked after. And we do want people around her who are going to help her make good decisions. We don't want people completely controlling her, but like she does, like anybody needs help. Any mature adult needs help, and especially someone who has had so much trauma. So I think now that she's freed in that sense, like I feel a little bit better saying that, like, I don't know that she always is like equipped to kind of even know what she wants, let alone to like make those decisions for herself. So I do think that she's really wanted to have more kids for a while. And I feel like this was one of the main points of all the conservatorship, like the hearings and everything that was brought up, that it was like out of her control when she had the IUD and everything. So, we want happiness for her. And if this is going to bring that, then I can't not support it. I think the boyfriend is a little sketch. It's hard to tell.
Or husband? Because
it's like fiance. I think there's a rock on the finger.
Different things. What is this man?
It's somewhere in between.
No, they're definitely engaged.
They are. There's a rock on the finger, but I don't know that there's a wedding on the horizon.
But he made a statement, and his name's Sam Asghari.
Yeah.
And he said, fatherhood is something I've always looked forward to, and I don't take it lightly. It's the most important job I will ever do. But again, that's just a blanket statement. Like, he's not saying like, I cannot wait to be a father right now. So I'm not doubting that she is pregnant, but it's just like so strange that even her follow-up, like at that rate, like it's a little confusing at that point. So when she like said something a few days later, I was like, okay, we're gonna like find out the tea now. But she wrote a few days later that she just got more food pregnant. And I'm like, what does that mean?
I don't know.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
As somebody who is constantly food pregnant and has a body that looks like an apostrophe from the neck down, I can respect the seriousness with which a food pregnancy comes, and the seriousness with what you take it, the seriousness with which you take it. But the question I have about this is something just Nicole just said. I'm sorry, I just had a total ADHD moment.
Hey, it's okay.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot.
It's a safe space here.
Well, okay, here's a question. This is more. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want anybody out here to be in a situation where they're not able to, like, be in like a great mental space, because that's trash if they like can't be themselves. So, like, more power to Britney or whatever else white people want her to do. Congratulations, cool. My question is, I've been listening to Toxic and Womanizer for quite a long time, and they are fantastic songs. But when are we going to talk about something that I know I can't be the only one that's wondering? It's like when Bobby Shmurda got released. It's like, okay, I'm happy for you, but when are you going to drop some more hits? Like, Womanizer is great. It's fantastic. But when are you going to get back in that studio? And I don't mean that in the sense of like, I'm telling Britney to do it, because she's a grown woman. She can do whatever she wants. But I do wonder if, like, come on, can't that be at least part of the reason we want her to be free, so she can drop some more hits? I mean, if I'm keeping it a buck, like, I'm happy that your sex life is great. Truly, I'm happy for you. I'm happy that you're apparently eating cannolis or whatever to have a food baby. Great. But when you gonna drop some more hits though?
We're not fighting you that we want more Britney.
No.
Am I the only one?
Well, here's what I'll say. I think that when she was under the conservatorship, she was still making music. Like, in the last 10 years or whatever, there have been Britney, maybe like the most famous ones, the ones we go back to, are a little older. But I think actually now that she's free, I think now she's actually less likely to make anything new. I think now she wants to like go on vacation and live life and like do her dancing videos and on Instagram. Like, I think she wants to not work. And I think her conservatorship bound her to work more so than than the opposite. She wasn't like in a cage. She was like in a stage of a cage. That's what she was.
So now she's just a person. I mean, yeah, she's a legend. Yeah. She's not like a former legend, but like, I guess, okay, this is an outsider question. Why this is why I feel a little alien to like the pop culture thing, is because I usually do care. Like, the reason I like Taylor Thomas a lot is because of her content. Like, Taylor Thomas is a person. I can't be obsessed with like a person. So I'm, very intrigued by the things you create, the production, like all the behind the scenes. I love that. So my thing is that like, when I don't necessarily have that, like, I mean, I guess the dancing videos is pretty good stuff. I guess then like, do you guys look at her then in entertainment for you, the pop culture nerds, is it entertainment to you, her just being a public figure, or are you looking for her to be entertaining to you? Because it's like, I guess I'm wondering how you guys react to her Instagram.
So I feel like at this point, we've like, the reason we love her is because of all of the years of like, we grew up listening to Britney Spears and like watching her and being like part of her world there. And I think the whole thing now is that we've seen how much she's gone through, that I don't think the fans right now are expecting like her to be producing stuff for us, because she's just for the first time now in 10 years being free. So we are happy for her as a human being. And then, I mean, if we get some content, like, I'm not going to complain.
Yeah, I agree. I think like when it's somebody who, and this all too common story, like another person that I want to talk about a little bit, not a story, but Amanda Bynes dropped a song today with her boyfriend called Diamonds. Yes. And it's I really wanted to like it. I really, really wanted to like it. Is it trash?
Is it just trash?
It's not. It's just a little bit hectic and chaotic. And
like a bad baby song.
Yeah, it's like a Machine Gun Kelly type of chaos, but then with like some sort of like Nirvana. It's like rock a little bit, but then it's like, it's hard to explain. But I'm the biggest fan of hers ever, and I've been rewatching the Amanda Show and all that, and the show, all that, not Amanda Show, and
you've been rewatching. You've been rewatching
where
the
is it
Amanda
on
show.
Paramount
Let's dive
Plus?
deeper into
Where is
this.
it?
Yeah, how do you find
on,
this?
Where's the Amanda show? I want to watch Moody's Point.
Listen, Moody's Point slaps so hard.
Moody.
Underrated, like underrated, like segment of a show is Moody's Point. Like just underrated, man.
Wait, you guys. I knew we would go off the rails of all our stories. That's why we're all over. I love. Okay, but I was watching with my friends last night the obviously the Tiny Horse Timothy Chalamet SNL sketch, which is amazing and perfect. And I realized it's the same tone as Moody's Point. If you go rewatch it.
Wait, I need to wait. So where can we watch it?
It strikes the exact same tone. Okay, so I haven't been watching full episodes. I've been on YouTube, on Nickelodeon. They'll do these like 24-hour like Amanda Show watch run, like how we're live on YouTube right now. It's literally like in a loop, like all the time. So for example, like if I go right now I'll tell you what they're doing live. They're always doing something live.
Yeah, because I've tried to watch clips of like the girls' room because like I say I like eggs like a million times. Like, and I go through phases where like, this is gross. People are going to not like me for this. I go through phases. Like, and when I say phases, like a once a month week where I will have like 3 hard-boiled eggs a day. And I get like fixated on hard-boiled eggs. And I'm aware that like that is not in popular opinion. But I like always say like, I like eggs. And like no one gets it.
No,
wait,
but
are you at least like putting them in ramen or something? Is it a ramen egg?
I could say that if it would make it less gross.
Rebecca. Oh.
I have one right now in the refrigerator. I just like pop it.
I hate that. I hate that. So gross. Okay, but so on Nick Rewind is the YouTube channel that does it. And they're like almost always live doing something. So they've been doing the Amanda Show on like these 24-hour loops. So when I'm like in a sad mood or I'm tired or I like can't fall asleep or it's the middle of the day and I'm procrastinating, like it's like half the time it's just on. So I've been the last like month or so I've been watching it so much and it's just like I've been crying. I'm like, this is so like the amount of talent in this like one person is it's amazing. And so it's like Amanda and Britney obviously very comparable journeys that they've had. And so now we've been talking about like, oh, do we even want Amanda to go back into acting? And like, I don't really want her to go back into acting.
No, me neither.
Singing like this song. It's like, I don't love the song. I don't want her to really do this. I don't think that's healthy for her. But I'm a fan of hers because of, you know, who she was years ago. And it's sad to say like, if I just encountered her now the way she is, same with Britney, like if we just came across them the way they are now, like they wouldn't develop the millions and millions of fans that they did back in the day. They wouldn't.
But did Amanda ever make music before this? Because different. If Britney Spears released a song, she has just raw talent. Like she can sing, she could perform. We know that. But if Amanda Bynes had a movie going on right now, would she might still retain the same skill sets instead of venturing out something new.
Remember in Hairspray, she played Penny?
Of course. She didn't get that lollipop out of her mouth.
Exactly. The character that Ariana Grande later played. And so she hasn't like released a bunch of albums or anything, but is a really good singer. So in Hairspray,
being a good singer though is different than producing good music.
That's true.
And her song doesn't not have talent. It's just not a good song, in my opinion. Like it's just not like something that's enjoyable, but like she could sing, but we're not like, oh, dope, like Amanda Bynes released music, like gonna be a bop. Like that's not the expectation. Britney Spears released music, gonna be a bop. But if we say Amanda Bynes is gonna go into a rom-com movie, oh, you bet I'll be there in the theater. Like,
right.
That's more the vibe.
Totally true. But yeah, I think for both of them, like I'm just, whether it's acting, comedy, or singing, I'm not rooting for them to do what I love them for. I just want to like love that content and be grateful that I have it forever. And then I just want them to like be happy. That's all I want. And I don't know that they can be happy going back into that stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's just, there's too much trauma underneath it. There's too much going on. And the theme of today's episode, we do a lot of, what is that face, TJ?
Okay, so while y'all were talking,
Are you listening to the song?
Yeah, I was listening to the song.
I knew that's what you were doing.
No, you weren't.
I knew it.
My white Jesus. Sorry, oh my fake white Jesus. Oh, I mean the production is hot. It's like it's a decent beat, and I'm like, what is this? goblin, shadow, ghoul, supernatural, choir type vocal. I thought this was a pop culture podcast, but like, what is this? Is trash. I'm so sorry. I completely derailed the past 40 seconds of the podcast because I thought that I was like, let me just check it out really quick, and I was like, okay, the production's pretty bumping. Yo, listeners, like the vocals are trash.
Amanda's.
No, I'm just. It's like a normal no. Like I got 40 seconds into it before you guys. I have a very reactive face, and I can't like not react with my face sometimes. And so I was just like,
well, at least we know that you weren't listening to us. I'd rather you react so that we know. Imagine if we never knew that you were ignoring us. That would have been pretty embarrassing.
Nicole, so you were hitting on something good, and I think it was a good segue. So let's
thank you. I was trying to get on point, and then TJ was just.
It was solid. It was a solid segue, and we're not known for those. So let's get
it. We're not, and we never will be. Okay, so clearly the theme of this episode, if you can't already tell, is like nostalgia, early 2000s. That's all we're going to talk about. Period. Like we have so much to say, and it all kind of ties back to that. But that makes sense because we're in this era where like that's the nostalgia, like that's back. So it makes sense that these stories are coming back. So, of course, Bennifer, Ben and J-Lo, they're engaged again. They were engaged many years ago. They're engaged again. And I don't know. I think they kind of look happy. I want them to. I mean, I'm not like a huge fan of his. And I'm an average fan of hers. So it's not like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with whatever they do. I want them to be so happy. Like, I'm just like, I want them to be happy, but I don't know. It's just these lives just move too quickly for me. Like the pandemic, I saw this tweet that was like counting time in terms of J-Lo engagements. And it was like, the pandemic is now 2 J-Lo engagements long. And I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. In short, it's like, she's been engaged twice since we started this thing. So I'm not
but
I don't know.
Like Mazel, great, happy for you. But I mean, J-Lo, I'm a J-Lo fan as much as anyone else. Like, yeah, she's like the sexiest woman alive, like easy. But it was the way in which the whole thing went down, which is the funky part that like, I don't know if you want to touch on it, or I have the actual newsletter pulled up here.
Yeah, but, you can do it.
So J-Lo, international actress, pop diva, announced her engagement by making people like teasing it on her Instagram and driving people to her vlog called On the J-Lo, in which you go to this website and you have to sign up for the newsletter to hear the details of this engagement. So I'm not part of the newsletter, but I acquire some screenshots of it, and it gives a little more. It gets a picture of the ring, and I don't know if it's specifically emerald or it's green. I mean, it's a huge rock, and it's stunning. But so she wrote like Saturday night. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but Saturday night while at my favorite place on earth in the bubble bath, my beautiful love got on one knee and proposed. So talk about the logistics.
He proposed to her while she was in the bath? Wait,
so I don't know if he was in there too. It didn't clarify.
Right. Like getting on one knee in the bathtub is a little uncomfortable because like half of your body would be submerged. Like I feel like it would just intersect your knee. So like half of your knee is like submerged in water and you're on one knee. It's like, a little weird.
You're pantsless, like in suds, trying to propose. Like I'm not trying to propose with my dick out. Like that's not classy. That's not what's happening here.
No,
like that.
Yeah,
it's kind of like it's a lot
bizarre.
But yeah, the driving traffic thing, that's very much like all these like people like bachelorette contestants who now like announce their engagement or their pregnancy or whatever through like Amazon or something if they're like partnering with Amazon. So it's just like every time anyone
Well, think of what you said. Bachelorette contestants.
Exactly.
Bennifer Lopez announced her engagement by drawing people to her newsletter. And mind you, like this newsletter might as well be an early 2000s newsletter because it's not even like cute. Like it's not even like, it's literally like she wrote this out on email and then added 3 pictures in a pic collage and labeled it camera roll. Like,
oh my goodness.
it's so odd. Like, good for her, happy, whatever. Like, I mean, her other engagement was like a shit show. So, like, I'm happy she's happy. Don't get me wrong. And like, mazel, like, glad. But this is the weirdest thing ever.
No, it's a lot. And yeah, it's like she doesn't need to have the thirst of like the Bachelor or Bachelorette contestants. Like for them, it's like girl bossing so hard and amazing. Like if you can leverage the Bachelor into announcing your pregnancy on Amazon, like you have won. But if you're J-Lo and you're doing that, I'm not into it. Like so she's above it.
Wait, so y'all are happy about this? This is. I'm okay.
Well, about the engagement itself, like
sure.
I mean, no reason to not be happy.
I'm like net, yeah. I'm like net positive on it.
Don't get me wrong. I got mad respect for J-Lo because she's one of the original fly girls from Living Color. I got mad respect for Chunky Batman. Sure, absolutely. I guess the struggle that I'm having is okay. Maybe y'all can educate me because why J-Lo is, she is an incredibly successful, incredibly talented, great singer. Beautiful, absolutely wonderful person, like Ben Affleck, like talented, all that stuff. Why am I happy for these rich people? What is it that like creates? And I don't mean that in like a challenging way. I guess I'm trying to like. So Rebecca, is the story more the how she announced it versus the engagement? Because the engagement, like how she announced it seems really interesting. And I'm just kind of like trying to figure out.
Well, it's not like
it's like
it's
very
not
thirsty.
That we're like, yeah, it's very thirsty. That's like, oh, you want to hear about my engagement? Like, go to my blog to find out more information.
It's very B-list. It's B-list reality show contestant who has climbed the ranks of reality television. It's not Jennifer Lopez.
But like, why are we happy for them? Why are we happy for anyone getting engaged?
Yeah.
Like as long as we know it's not like a toxic relationship, like to each their own. I mean, I'm the type like you want to get engaged to like I don't care about other people's relationships. Like as long as I know people are happy, whether I know them or not, like it's not my place to ever comment, I find like on that, whether it's someone I know or a celebrity, unless there's like an outward reason that they should not be together. That like I don't know, if you're happy, like this is what you want for yourself in your life, then go after it. Like that's why, like it's like Nicole said, like a net positive because like whatever, she's happy. Like her thing with A-Rod was like pretty shitty at the end. So like whatever, she bounced back, she's happy, and like there's no reason to not be happy in my mind.
I hope this plays as cute as I want it to because I wish I was emotionally healthy as you were. I'm petty. If I wake up at 7 a.m. to like get ready for work and I see on Facebook that like one of my friends has like gotten engaged, I'm not happy. I'm single, but I'm not mad that I'm single because I have a lot of stuff to do at the moment, but I'm not like excited about like the fact that you're winning. So it's more that I wouldn't consider it petty anger. But I can't pretend that I'm happy. Like y'all never been single before, and then you're like, oh, so
I am.
Like, you're having a baby.
I think Rebecca and I are at this very specific age where everyone who's getting married at our age is like religious. It's like everyone there are a lot of. It's not like oh my god, someone. It's like I have seen like a good number of people get at our age, but everyone, it's every single person is like whatever religion it is. So I'm not like. Oh my god, like where's my timeline? What am I doing? I'm just like couldn't be me at this point.
I guess so. Yeah, like I mean I'm single and like I mean it's like I'm like more at the point where I'm like voluntarily saying not like people are chasing after me, but like I'm not looking for anything. So maybe if I was like looking for something serious, then maybe I would have that jealousy kind of or anger against it. Like
hold on, let me stop you.
I would not want to be engaged right now. So
let me stop you. It's not at a point of jealousy, and I really do mean this very playfully, but I guess I am very this is not me performing. This is actually how I think. Like I can't pretend that when I wake up I'm happy about like actually Nicole, you make a good point about the like religious aspect because I'm 28 now. Like when I was about like 21, 22, I saw a lot of those because I came from like a very Christian background when I was younger. And so I saw a lot of those like engagement announcements and relationships. Now it's a lot of baby announcements, which I'm a little bit more okay with because the babies are really cute. But like I'm not gonna act like when I'm like single.
I'm the
don't
opposite.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not acting like I'm not out here doing my thing. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm not gonna pretend unless it's like somebody I'm very close with and I've like met the person and I know that like, oh, this is like really good for them. It's more when it's like your tertiary like acquaintances. It's like, oh, I met you like 3 years ago. I don't even know you, and it's like I'm seeing a marriage announcement. I'm like, all right. I can't
going to the wedding. You don't owe, you're not getting them a gift. Like it's harmless in my mind, but
point. It's petty for the sake of being petty about like, oh, how can I hide this post on Facebook or how can I like hide this on Instagram or something like that.
I respect it. I respect that.
It's more positive negativity if I'm keeping it a buck. It's more like, what am I like? I'm going to celebrate love. Come on now. I mean, a baby's a whole different story. But no, and granted, I apologize because I wasn't trying to like diminish your thing. I was more trying to add chaotic energy to it.
Right.
But I may not have advanced it in the way that
it was chaotic. No, it was very good and chaotic. And I'm seeing in the chat that Casey.
Oh God,
Casey
I forgot
said,
we're live.
It's okay. It's okay. Live on. So Casey said, remember when Kim Kardashian got engaged to Chris Humphries? Yes. And both Weird Al and Michael McKean tried to make 72 days is now a measurement of time known as a Kardashian happen on Twitter. And that, I think, is an even better unit than we should make like a unit table, whatever here, with like a Kardashian, a J-Lo engagement, whatever. But that
Pete
brings
Davidson
us
and Ariana Grande, because that was like 90 days, right? That was short too.
Well, no, like that was a marriage, like Kim and Chris Humphries were married for 72 days, and then a J-Lo engagement was like, yeah, I mean, maybe, but our third story is
segue. Yeah,
there was actually a segue about like 6
so many
ago.
good.
There was
segues.
A great segue, but I didn't take it. Like we didn't like we could have. You said toxic relationship, and we could have gone there, but like I was like, oh no, I had to.
What do you think the next thing we're talking about?
You don't know you're the guest. You don't have our list of topics in front of you.
Nicole, I am so satisfied by your segues today. So do it again. Redo it. Go.
I'm not gonna read.
I'm glad y'all are enjoying yourselves.
Shout out to Casey though in the chat.
No, what's the next thing we'll be talking about?
So we're gonna be talking about a show that I watched like the minute it came out, which I really didn't think I was gonna do. The Kardashians on Hulu came out last night, 9 p.m. Pacific time, midnight Eastern time. So like I watched it. I have thoughts. What are your thoughts, Rebecca?
I watched it at 3 a.m. Pacific time. So that's where my mindset was. So I'm just giving you my perspective while I was watching it. There's so much to say. I'm going to try and just generalize the show itself, and then we could get into some of the topics brought up. Do you think that's a good plan? Like, because Nicole and I could, I know, do the next hour about this.
Yeah, we could.
But it's not.
Yeah.
Okay. So the show itself, I find, is incredible. Like, it is so good. I'm obsessed with it. It feels like an SNL sketch of the Kardashians, but they're in on it. Like, it's very like them making fun of themselves and reality TV. They have the kids touching the cameras. They have the confessionals are fake. Kendall Jenner pops in and was like, so I wasn't just sick. I actually had COVID. It was fine, but you'll see me later in the season. Like, they kept talking about the cameras being there. They kept talking about like, oh, like season. Like it was, I'm going to take Nicole's favorite word. It was so meta, and they were in on the jokes, and they were making fun of themselves, and they were in on it, and they realized it. And like, they were all so real and like down. And also the cinematography was wild. Okay, to be fair, my state of mind at 3 a.m. last night, and in addition to not being fully sober, I was like fucking mesmerized by those drones. I was like, this is the trippiest thing I've ever seen. Like, I'm obsessed. And then I watched it this morning and I was like, I could throw up by the way that they are like the cinematography of this, because it's like drone flying, but I'm obsessed with the show and I could not have higher praises for it.
Wait, that's crazy. Okay, a little bit less high for me. I enjoyed it. I thought that the beginning part, wait, I'm just Xing out of something so that I'm not freezing. The beginning really did give me the chills. Basically, like it feels like the camera is it's going really like super fast all over their different houses. In Kim's case, it was like Skims. In Kylie's case, it was the Kylie office. Like other, so it was interesting who they chose to be like in their homes versus in their working space, like in their business spaces. But the camera was just flying all over the place, like all their houses, all their whatever, Calabasas galore. And it was really cool. It was really well done. And I was like really impressed with that part. And it was all leading up to this like big event that they were having at Kim's house, this barbecue. The first time they were really going to film like in earnest for the new season, like a big like get together. My critique of it, because I agree with everything you said in a sense. Like I it was very spectacular in a way, but okay, this whole thing with reality TV of what's real, what's staged, what is both real and staged, like that intersection, it gives me a hard time, and it can really distract me, because one of Kim's main storylines of the season was set up at the first event that happened to be being recorded. Like Saint, so Kim's son Saint shows her this thing on his Roblox that's like about her sex tape, and he's like, haha, mommy, like, what's this, like, why is this your face? And it was like it wasn't the sex tape, it was like,
yeah,
okay, TJ's face just no, it's,
yeah, I was like clarifying.
Sorry, no, it's not that, it wasn't on the Roblox, but it was like referencing it, and kind of there was something about like
it was a threat.
footage.
It was a threat that if Kim, that they were releasing they weren't clarifying whether like it was another sex tape. And as Kim said, I am 99.9% certain I do not have another sex tape, but it could be unreleased footage from it. But basically on Roblox, there was like, I don't, okay, like I have been on Roblox, but I don't know exactly like how it worked, but it was like the gif of like Kim crying face. And it was like, oh, like we are releasing like this sex tape in this amount of days. So Saint, who cannot read, saw her face. Yeah, I'm giving more context because I know you did not watch TJ.
Yeah. No, it wasn't that.
First, actually, I did watch. Don't you asked me to be prepared for the show? No, I'm fucking with you. I'm lying.
I was like, God, I'm impressed.
I just don't like you expecting what I'm going to do. I watched Love Is Blind season 2. I can watch reality TV. No, but okay. I have not. Okay, Rebecca, remind me, how old are you?
23.
Y'all so damn young. Okay. So when you say you've been on Roblox, how old were you when you were on Roblox?
It wasn't, I wasn't like playing on Roblox. I had an interview to work there. So I was like familiarizing myself with the product.
Wait. Was this
was a while ago
in Roblox?
No, I was just
in the game.
No, it was like an in-person, like on campus type of thing. Like it was very like for an internship there a while ago. But yeah, so I was just like familiarizing myself with what Roblox was in general.
Okay, okay. So you made me feel a little older because I used to work at a library when I was 17, and the kids were probably about like 9-10 years old, and they used to play Roblox. And so, besides the Lil Nas X concert that he did a couple years ago, that's my knowledge of Roblox. And I was like, oh damn, like that's a good press for Roblox. Big ups to them. They're still doing. So I'm so sorry for
not that great of press, but yeah. So back to it. It's like, yes, Nicole, that was obviously staged for at the barbecue.
What bothered me beyond like it distracts me.
Why Roblox of all? Like, why not Minecraft at least?
Well, no, because it probably happened. No, because it actually happened.
No, right.
But it wasn't.
Wait. This is real. It's
okay,
not.
So
yes,
So Saint, like, it's on his Roblox that there's like a threat about the sex tape. And so in the middle of this like barbecue that is being filmed, Saint runs up to Kim and shows her, and she like freaks out and shows Chloe. And I get what you're saying, the meta element that they're making fun of themselves, that they're in on the joke. So if we're gonna run with that, I'm more okay with it being staged. But the fact that we'll never kind of know, it makes me feel a little bit weird with reality TV. Like, is it really real?
Well, but even more on that I feel like you'd be interested in, TJ, to like know is that like obviously it was
listening.
No. I'm telling you more of the episode that would be interesting. That's a really good point. That like, yes, this is obviously like horrible, and Kim's freaking out and on the phone with her lawyer and all of that, and being like, this was also right before she was leaving for SNL. All this occurred. So to like film it and everything. So they talk a lot about that in the episode, but she was like freaking out, but she was like kind of calm. And then she called Kanye to tell him and broke down crying on the phone. And this was them already getting divorced. And they say that, but like they were talking a lot about their relationship and how even now, like Kanye, well, this was back then before all the recent Kanye stuff, but like even now they were divorced, like he would style her from before they were married to even while they were going through a divorce. And he'd be like, this is the in style, wear this. And she is like calling him. And it's the only time that she genuinely breaks down and starts hysterically crying on the phone with him, which like, I don't know, I thought was like just such an interesting thing, like kind of cute.
Yeah, it was kind of cute. And I'm like, wait, is this show going to like make us nostalgic for their relationship? Because I was not expecting that at all. And
how is a woman breaking down crying? Oh, you mean the connection of their relationship is cute. I'm about to say y'all are sadistic, but you'll talk about the. Okay,
oh no, she's crying about this thing,
say.
and she's like confiding in him, and they're talking it over. And then like in a lot of the promos, it sounds like he's really helpful with the process of like getting it taken care of and making sure that these threats are like go away. And yeah, I could not have predicted that the show would make us like reminisce about their relationship and would paint him in such a positive light as of now so far. But like,
how much of the show is out now?
1 out of 10 episodes. Yeah, there's going to be 10 episodes.
Okay, all right. So it's just it's not. It wasn't like a binge. Like
no. But also there are two other points that like I need to touch on. I'm gonna first bring up something because I know Nicole is gonna freak out when I say it, but the absolute number one star of the entire show, I am obsessed. She's hysterical, killing it. Courtney was the star of the show. She was everything.
Really?
She was funny. She was making fun of herself. Like, because when Kim was talking about being on SNL and all of that, like, she was like, I mean, like, I'm known to be the funny one, but like, we're related. And she's not. She's making fun of herself. Like, it's just her genuinely happy with Travis. And like, she's making fun of the fact, like, they're at here and Kim's announcing that she's going to be on SNL. And Courtney's just like off to the side talking to Travis. And Chris like, Courtney, listen. And she's just, you see her with the kid. I can't explain it. I am obsessed with her. And she was the best part of the entire show to me.
Interesting. I thought you were going to say Chloe. I felt like Chloe was the most like central. Like Chloe feels like
she was running the show. She's a producer. Right. Like she's the producer.
Chloe
in her head.
Right. But she had the fewest kind of storylines in a way, but she felt like it felt like the most from her point of view at the end of the day. Like every storyline ended up having Chloe like filter through it. Like Kim had the most like main character arcs and stuff that were being set up with SNL, with the Roblox thing, but Chloe, like every storyline connected to how Chloe thought of it. Like when that happened with Kim, she was like, Chloe, I feel like you're the only one who's gonna understand this. I have to talk to you. Or with Courtney and Travis, like it's Chloe who goes to Scott's house and talks to him. Like it feels like everything goes back to Chloe.
Yes, it does. But literally, as Kim's sitting there hysterically crying and Chloe's hugging her, Courtney's just on the side on her phone. And I'm like, I'm obsessed with you because you think you're the main character. And in turn, I am thinking you're the main character. No, she does Courtney, in her own world.
No, in her own world.
She's the main character of her own life. The show.
Yeah, in the show, she couldn't care less.
But then the other thing I want to talk about is the SNL of it all, because it was... I didn't realize we were watching like a spin-off SNL show behind the scenes. But just for the context of it is what they show here, because they don't show her actually performance. They have her going to announce to the family that she's going to be on SNL and host. And my favorite part of like this whole announcement is like her confessional. She's like, I mean, I'm really nervous, but like everyone's just like saying I have to do it and like freaking out. And she announced and like they were like, oh, nice. And like Courtney didn't even listen. And like there was no excitement at the table. And she was like, everyone's making me go. I wish I could drop out. But also it's going through.
Don't make me sing.
They're talking about her wig changes and like, which is just such an interesting thing. And they have her hairstylist there. And then they're talking about like, I don't know if she gets how like the SNL process works, but they're like, everyone's asking her like, oh, who do you want the musical guest to be? As if she's making
the decision. Wait, that kills me.
And then she was like, it would be cool with Kanye.
that was a big storyline that kept coming up over and over. She was like, I mean, I'm kind of considering having it be Kanye, but like maybe it should be my moment, without him, just me on my own. And I was like, oh, I couldn't believe it. But in retrospect, like given the way that their relationship was being painted in the episode, it makes sense that she would be talking and thinking like that. But it is so funny that that's her perception of SNL, is that if she were to host, she would just like hand pick the musical guests.
Rich people.
I was like, literally, what is this? And then she did mention Pete Davidson for the first time, and she was explaining actually like some interesting behind the scenes, that she was like, oh, well, they actually had this. Oh my God, who wrote this for her? It wasn't Amy Schumer. It was someone else that said.
Michelle Wolf.
No. Michelle Wolf wrote it. That's not who she said in the episode. She said another comedian said it would be really funny if Kanye was in the crowd and they do the whole like, oh, can I get a question from the audience?
Sarah Silverman.
It was Sarah Silverman. Yeah.
Wait, Sarah Silverman helped her write it?
They were just all giving her advice. So like Amy Schumer, and she was like, it's so cool to have like funny friends. And I'm like, and so Sarah Silverman gave her advice for the monologue that said she should do the whole thing where it's like, oh, any questions from the audience, and it being really obviously Kanye. And Kanye said, how do you feel about like second chance marriages? And she just looks at him and goes, no. And she goes, and then they were like, I don't know if Kanye would go for this. And he was like, oh, well, if he talks to Dave Chappelle and Dave says that it's funny, then I'll do it. And I'm like, they're so integrated with the comedy scene that like I didn't even realize.
Yeah. Well,
but yeah, what's the Michelle Wolf? The Michelle Wolf, I feel like that's interesting.
Yeah, so Michelle Wolf. So on the Not Skinny But Not Fat podcast, Kim was a guest this past week, which was just amazing because it's Amanda Hirsch is the host, and she was on the red carpet to do with E! News, like doing it was just amazing to see that because she's like been a fan for so long, and she was invited to SNL when Kim hosted, and she was there. So it's just like, it's been cool to watch Amanda be like a fan too. Like she calls herself Commanda. It's just cool to see her whole thing unfold. But so on the podcast, she revealed so much. Like we knew all of these names, we knew like were involved with it, like Amy Schumer, Dave Chappelle. But it sounded like Dave Chappelle introduced Kim to Michelle Wolf, and Michelle Wolf wrote the majority of it. And then everybody who's been listed helped. Like Dave Chappelle helped, Amy Schumer helped, Sarah Silverman helped. And then in addition to people at the show who got credits for like assisting and all that kind of thing. But it was just like this humongous celebrity affair of like, she came in with her monologue ready to go. It had been touched by like all these great comedic minds that they just happened to like have on speed dial.
Actually, I have something on that, but I don't know if it's anything.
Try us.
I doubt it's anything, but I was watching. It's something the Hollywood Reporter does with Charlemagne. Wait, do you guys know who Charlemagne is?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
I met him. Sirius XM.
Oh, that's crazy. Okay, that was a black test. So cool. You guys passed. Okay, like so, there was an interview Charlemagne had with Chris Redd a few weeks ago, and it was at the Comedy Cellar. And in the interview, this is not like really into anything, but Chris Redd, like Charlemagne asked Chris Redd about like who helped Kim write the monologue, and he name checked Michelle Wolf. And then so Chris Redd, he didn't answer. He just said whoever you heard like might have helped it is most likely because she had like a lot of help or whatever. So there's still this like ambiguity, but there's still obviously like definitely like big names to it or whatever. Michelle Wolf makes sense. I saw her live last year, and she's an amazing writer, so funny. That clicks from like seeing her material like filmed and live wise. That would make a lot of sense. Yeah, I'm sorry. I know it's not much of anything, but like I just thought.
No, it is.
Yeah. But also speaking of Chris Redd, he's on the show SNL that I watch, and let's move on to my favorite segment. Which of everything that we just that was so bad.
I was saying, wait, what is she talking about?
It's very it's very Kardashians on their own show of the meta aspect. So it's kind of cool. Like make it as bad as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Okay, so of the topics that we talked about, so we talked about Britney Spears's pregnancy announcement, Bennifer, I hate saying that. I don't know why, but Bennifer, it makes me cringe.
I love it.
Then anything about the Kardashians, without like defending your answer, what is the one topic that you think they'll definitely talk about this weekend at SNL? I guess I'll start. I think that they'll definitely talk about Bennifer of it all, at least in like an update scenario.
Yeah. I'm going to say the Kardashians. It's time to bring them back up since, yes, it's time. They're going to do it this time. TJ?
I think you're both wrong. And I think that every time I've thought SNL was going to zig, they've zagged. Every time I've tried to predict this entire season, I've been completely wrong.
Same with us,
So
if you listen.
Huh?
Said same with us if you listen to this.
Again, I do listen to the show. I've listened to a good number of Hollywood dishes. And I'm not just like pontificating. I do mean that. I think if anything, this is my one prediction, and I think I'm going to be right about this. But it hasn't been something anyone's brought up. It was like, for me, doing my own prep for the show, I used Twitter more than I normally do this week, and it was all right. But like, one story I saw trending, I think it was today, was Elon Musk possibly buying Twitter. Yes, and then my guess is that there will be an update joke about that. Unless there's a bigger story in the next 2 days, which there could possibly be. That's my prediction for like an easy Michael Che tee up.
Fair. Can you also elaborate on that Elon Musk stuff quick? Like from
no, I can't because all I saw was like the trending.
Oh, I've been, I've been like, I've been like getting the notifications all day. We decided not to make it like a story, but you tell.
We discuss what would happen if Elon Musk like had more of a say being on Twitter's board. So him buying it would basically be the same thing, but like.
Yeah.
So basically, Wario apparently has made an offer to buy Twitter for $43 billion, but all I saw was a headline. I didn't get a chance to like dig as deep as I wanted to into like other storylines like Lime Skittles. So all the ads. Sorry, Rebecca.
Wait, no, I used to write emails to Skittles when they first changed it to Green Apple.
What is your job?
I hate
like 4 brands.
Wait, this isn't a job. This is a personal hobby. I love Lime Skittles. They're my favorite flavor aside from purple. I'm gonna get attacked with eggs and purple, grape being my favorite flavor. The Lime Skittles are my favorite. And I wrote emails to Skittles, and then like literally my mom would help and buy old Skittles bags before I had Green Apple and pick them out for me. And she's a really good woman for that.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Wow.
Shout out to Skittles.
Maybe that's what will be on update. Probably not.
Or also maybe something about Coachella, but Coachella hasn't had a scandal, but it's starting tomorrow. So that could also
starts
be something.
Tomorrow. Yeah, I forget the days, but I don't think like the Kanye day was till Sunday. I think that's when The Weeknd Now and Swedish House Mafia are, but I might be wrong.
Oh, I love The Weeknd.
But yeah.
Oh,
no, I think this is good.
Long shot could be, there was that video going around on Twitter yesterday of like a kid calling Ben Shapiro a bozo. I don't know if anyone saw that, but that made me laugh. But I doubt like anyone's going to touch on that. But that guy is due to be made fun of on SNL. Ben Shapiro.
Yes, and someone should be him. Who would play him?
Maybe one of my homegirls is going to hate this because she's not the biggest fan of him, but he's a great performer. Maybe a Kyle Mooney. Maybe honestly, probably a JJ. If JJ has that like that high pitch, and it's just if he has it, if he can get that quickness and that high pitch, because Ben Shapiro, he kind of talks like this.
Yeah.
Like he's like a computer program that's being written. Like if JJ can like get that speed, he would probably have the technical ability, but Kyle might be the best at playing that cuck character. That Ben Shapiro is being painted as, and maybe somebody will throw in like a box of mac and cheese. Like I doubt any of this would happen, but like I thought that was probably one of my favorite things I saw.
I think it's going to be Mikey Day if it is anyone. He has that.
Oh, that's a good pick.
He has that cadence to his voice that he can like access that if he does an impression, and he doesn't get a lot of like the big impressions. I think he needs one. I want him to get one.
Can I just say something?
Yeah. Wait, I have a wild take. Quick, I'm just gonna say my wild take, and then I want to hear you say it. But I think like I think Cecily could do it. But that's all.
Wait.
That's what I'm saying. Funny. That's why I even asked who was gonna play it because I knew my answer.
Or like Sarah. Sarah.
Has Cecily played a male character?
Not enough.
Okay, tell your Mikey Day thing, and I'm gonna do some research.
Oh, no, I was just gonna say. So Cecily is my favorite cast member, like currently, but Mikey Day is my like. I don't want to say he's my second favorite. He's my favorite underrated cast member. I think he's been consistently. Look, I sound like a sportscaster. He's been consistently putting up numbers. He's been out there I'm sorry, I don't know how they talk. But I think he's been consistently doing well. Anytime you put him with like Heidi and they need to play like a toxic couple, or like he needs to play like a stressed dad, like, or a stressed boyfriend, I think he's so underrated. He cracks me up so much. I don't know. I love Mikey Day. Sorry, that was my Mikey Day.
He's doing. I'm loving his cake show on Netflix right now. Is it Cake? Everybody, it's so much fun to check that out.
I'm being tripped up by the memes I'm seeing of all the things that are not cakes. It is messing with me. I saw a laptop and somebody had like the feed of the laptop, but the bottom half was cake. This is getting out of hand. Like, it is.
It's wild.
It's getting crazy.
It's a lot.
What is my grandmother cake? Like, I'm sorry. It makes me emotional.
I hope not. Wait, speaking of Mikey Day, he's actually on this show I watch called SNL, and I listen to this podcast called the SNL Network. And Nicole, I'm curious, is there anything coming up this week on the SNL Network? I think you might know.
God. Yeah, I definitely can let you know everything that's going to be happening. So right now we're coming at you live on Thursday. We have Lizzo pulling double duty this weekend. Very exciting. Saturday night Lizzo, if you will. And we have.
That's good.
Thank you.
Nicole,
I just thought of it.
That's really good.
That's good.
That's really good.
Ooh. I know. What should I do with that? I should do something with it.
I mean, stand
by the time. By the time everybody hears this, I'll have done something with it. Okay. So Saturday night, so we're gonna have our hot take show. Right after the show, 1:10 a.m. Be there. It's like on YouTube, a perfect place to just dump all your thoughts, listen to people, dump their thoughts. It's a great place to be to just think about the episode, talk about the episode. Monday night, we have our roundtable. That's just more of a deep dive into the episode, thinking about like the themes as it relates to the rest of the season. We're going to have a patron feedback show next week on Wednesday. And then this is actually our last Hollywood Dish until May. So we are leaving you with this for like a couple weeks. We're not going to be back next week because we're going to be on an SNL hiatus. So we will see you guys. Like, it'll be a minute, but before we really wrap up, TJ, thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much. This was
so really fun. Like,
so
this has
sorry.
been very fun. No, please don't be sorry. Just tell the people where they can find you and what you're up to.
Well, I have a 15-ish minute podcast called Rabbit Trail, RABID. That's available everywhere. And Nicole and John, they both been on the podcast before.
I want to be on it.
I would love to have you on it, actually. I would actually love to have the both of you on. I think that could be very fun.
That could be.
It's not going to be 15 minutes.
Join the episode that we're going to do. You know the one I'm talking about, TJ.
I do, yeah.
So you're going to be on this one.
I'm thinking about another correspondent for that one, but I think I could think of another thing that like Rebecca could be also great for. But in my mind, honestly, if I'm keeping it a buck, like it's a podcast that's hosted by 4 straight men. And honestly, like, while I know 4 like straight men have so many things to say and offer the world. Hush. Like, I know they have so many things to say and offer the world. We need a lot of like female energy. So we love having female guests. We've had plenty and we want to have more. So we're always open to having more.
Mm-hmm.
So Nicole joined us and we did an episode on, oh my God, I'm blanking on what we had her on. I remember. It was basically, it was about like how busy are people, like just kind of like scheduling. As you get older, your schedule gets more crazy. So how do you handle that? And so we talked to Nicole and she was a wonderful guest. We were very glad to have her. And John has been on it to talk about male friendships. And Nicole, you're going to be on you're going to be in a couple more actually, but that'll be like far out.
Sure. Anytime.
Anyways,
what else are you up to? Where can they?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm sorry. You can follow the podcast at We Are Rabbit Trail. Again, that's RABID on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can find me, this adorable chocolate man, King Compliment. That's my Instagram at.
Giver and receiver of compliments.
Absolutely. On Instagram and TikTok.
I thought you were gonna stop there, and I was like, say something else.
Actually, no. Do you want to know something? I don't know if you guys noticed this, but
I can't have been the first person to say it like that and make everybody nervous.
I named the group chat with the 3 of us Hollywood Dish chocolate, and I don't know if any of you guys caught.
I didn't even see it. Yeah.
I first read it as like, okay, if you watch RuPaul's Drag Race this season, if you get eliminated, you open a chocolate bar, and whoever is the golden chocolate bar gets a say. It's just like the new thing this season. I don't think we'll ever do it again because it sucks. But each week, and it's actually been big on TikTok, but they opened it and they're like, it's chocolate. And then there's like womp womp that happens like on the show and it like feels fake. Like it's actually crazy. But when I first read it, I was like, Hollywood dish, it's chocolate. And I was like,
I should have put like Hollywood dish, but with chocolate is what I should have done. Anyways, you can find me at King Compliment on Instagram and TikTok, and We Are Rabbit Trail on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Boom, there's my plug.
Beautiful. Rebecca?
You know where to find me at Barbecue, and tune in to the next Hollywood dish because we'll be missing everyone, and there's going to be a lot of hot topics to talk about then. But yeah, just at Barbecue social media.
You can also find her at Coachella if you're at Coachella.
Oh yeah,
track her
please
down.
Hit me up.
Yeah,
that'd be
track
fun.
her down. I feel like you're gonna be like
hunt me down.
Yeah,
oh my God.
You'll be fun.
Oh my God, do you know what you're saying? Girl, come on now.
No.
I told you I love talking to strangers.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No, anyone who listens to Hollywood Dish is not a stranger.
Is a friend, is family. No, anyone. I think Rebecca's the perfect person if you run into her at a music festival to just say hi and she'll just like start dancing and raving with you. So I think if you see her, you should just say hello.
Yeah, just look down and like I'm 5 feet, so it's kind of like
are you really 5 feet?
Yeah.
I knew you had short girl energy. I knew it. You got a stepladder somewhere in your house, don't you? Yeah, it's an attack.
But how dare you say I have short girl energy?
I know what I said. I stand by it. Short girl energy.
I don't disagree, but in a good way. I think he is like 5'2".
Nicole secretly tall?
Like I'm very average. I'm 5'5".
Okay, all right. That tracks.
Yeah. What are you?
5 foot is very surprising. I'm not telling you that. Come on now. Come on.
Okay, so
okay,
you're not gonna catch me lacking. Not gonna catch me lacking.
If you're not gonna tell us, and we okay,
we're gonna put it in my SNL Network bio.
Instead of your handle, just your height. Well, anyway, you can find me at my Instagram. I since being hacked, I still haven't changed it, but I just like to say all the same all over the place. Just at Nicole Rovine everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. Yeah. And then, of course, at the SNL Network, we're doing so much stuff all over the place. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, wherever you are. Make sure that you like, subscribe, rate, review, click, clack, like, share it. Just anything. Just like click things. Click things, and it helps us. So we really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And we will see you in May. It's going to be May.
Bye.
John, you're welcome, John, for that.